One, two, three. We're the welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks. Our favorite two people are Mom and Dad, and we have Hantie. This was one of the most controversial Mom and Dad Talks I think we've ever had.
Hmm.
So I don't know if the audience is ready for this, but we're going to try it anyhow. What things do you omit when you get up late? Whoa. Good one. Good one. What things do you omit when you get up? Who really wants to tackle that one?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Where are we? Where are we going when we get up late?
Well, you know,
where are we headed?
You probably don't have to worry about it.
I mean, you know, mom, you know, just because you're retired, don't mean you don't go to things.
All
but
right.
You're running late for whatever, playing for
Sabbath.
church or
Sabbath
school or you know, bowling or you know, or work. You know, Hantie does work. You know, and you're late for something. What thing would you admit? Say, you know what, we're just gonna go without. Everybody's quiet on this one, Dad.
Shaving.
No.
Okay.
That's a good one, Dad. Shaving.
It is.
Dad, just run. The stubs will go with them.
That's right. What you see is what you get.
All right, Mom and Hantie's getting a little weird now. What you all do?
What do I admit?
Would you omit, not admit, but what would you omit? Get a little personal here. People
careful,
be checking if you're running late. Mom's never late.
You know what? I'm just going to be late. You know, put bottom line. I can't leave. First of all, I don't dare leave my house without putting a little something on my face to hide my spots and you know, on my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not dare get up or leave my house without brushing my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, there are certain things.
Mom, you never gone out the house funky at all with no shower or anything?
No. I cannot leave my bedroom without getting into the shower before I leave the house. Now that is the truth.
All right, Hantie, you're up next. You came up with this.
Yeah. Well, and I'm with your mother as well. It's got to be a shower, even if it isn't as long as it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is still a shower. There's still soap and water.
Mm-hmm.
I used to date a gentleman that said, "Well, let me run through the shower real quick." That's what he would say. And
run through the shower.
Run through the shower.
From one side to the other. Huh?
I don't know. I didn't ask no questions because I wasn't involved in that. But that's one thing. Everything has to be instead of reading 2 devotionals, I would probably read just one. I will make my bed. That has to be made. That has to be done.
Never leave the house without making
it. Yes. Otherwise, mother will come up and choke me. And then, of course, me, I would be driving a little bit faster than usual.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if I can make up for the time. I don't oversleep usually, but if it's significant, I get up so early that I can afford to oversleep 45 minutes and still make it.
Well, I will have to admit to everybody here, and I'm sorry to admit this for what I would omit.
Oh, don't be sorry.
Yeah, so don't judge me here.
Okay.
I leave my wife in the bed. I'm gone. I gotta be there. She's not coming with me. I know
Yeah.
some people be mad at it and say, why you gonna leave your wife in the bed? Well, hey,
On their own.
I gotta take a shower, I gotta brush my teeth, I gotta have my devotional. If you ain't ready by that point, I just gotta go on without you. And so, I will leave my spouse literally in bed,
Mhm.
and that's where she'll stay. Even on important engagements there. I know even when we go to church, I'll leave my wife if she's not ready.
There's that leaves me to remember that when Dell and I got married, we moved to South Bend,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and I still went to church in Niles.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband really was not a person that moved with expeditious.
Dad's
Yeah,
not
and
expeditious.
expeditiously, and there's such a word. And I did not want to be waiting on him to be late for church. And I can remember a time that I just went ahead and went on and left him at 4406 Western Avenue in South Bend. And it might have only happened one time, but he knew that I wasn't going to stay at home and wait on him.
So he didn't just start moving slow?
He always moves slow.
That's right.
Daddy has always been left. Mom.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, I have to admit, my dad, I would go without, if anything, shaving.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys have drilled it into my head
It was.
to be clean, have a clean breath. You know what I'm saying? Have clean clothes, clean underwear. Make up your bed. It's very hard to figure out what would I leave without. Now for those of our listening audience, please put in the comments and stuff. But what you would leave or admit, when you get up late. That we love to hear from you. But I mean, you guys should drill us so much. And plus two, I think it's very rarely I am late. My parents. I couldn't be late. I think there's only like 3 or 4 times I've been late. In fact, that's the reason why I had perfect attendance in high school, because you all just drilled it into my head. Don't be late. I mean, 4 years of never missing school.
Right. Never missed a
I
day.
think about that. Like, I miss work every now and then, but 4 years of never
Well,
missing.
you know what? I'm going to say that God was he was guiding and directing you in your 4 years of high school, because when you were a senior in high school, you and I and your aunt, we had to go to a wedding during the Christmas vacation. And while down in North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, and while
Winston,
Winston-Salem.
Was it Winston-Salem?
Anyhow, it was in North Carolina, and you came down with the chicken pox during the time that we were down there in North Carolina, and it was by the time Christmas break was over, you were over the chicken pox. So, and you didn't have to miss any school.
Yeah.
So I think, I was praising God for guiding and protecting you, and not having you come down with chicken pox during the school year where you missed days of school.
And I'm still itching from those chicken pox every now and then. Ooh.
Shingles.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Well, this past Sunday we had a work bee at our church, and I was so focused on getting up, going to the work bee, that I woke up at 4:00. Way too early, and the work bee was at 9:30.
You go, Dad.
So I tried to go back to sleep. Well, finally went back to sleep about 4:45. Woke up at 5:00. Well, when 9:30 came, I was so tired. I said, "Forget it." Forget it.
For those who don't know my dad is a man of creature of habit. And for my dad to just blow something off like that,
bad habit.
Yeah. I mean, my dad, he's not that kind of dude. And like I said, but you guys have raised us all well. Like I said, very rarely, I know I'm late for anything, and if I am late, we got to have you just have to have all those pieces. I don't know any. And in fact, Hantie, when you posed this question, I had a hard time thinking, like, what would I omit? Because you guys just drilled us so bad. Make sure you have this. Make sure you have this. That's all I can remember is that I can't go without.
Right. And see, the thing with the instructions from the pastor was bring your power drill, bring your saw, power saws, and all like that. And I've always been taught that do not work with saws and stuff like that
When you're
will cut
tired.
off fingers
Yeah.
when you're tired. Because if you take it off a finger, you can't put it back.
Yeah, that's true. And you've cut
So
your hand before.
forget it.
So what time did you get up Sunday?
Did you get up? Did you wake up in the afternoon, Dad, after all
I
of
woke
that?
up at 12:15. 12:15.
Oh my.
So,
You got a whole nother night's
I
work
don't
of
remember that.
rest.
I just remember he did not go over there like he said he had him said he was gonna go. So
well,
He didn't have to. He's 80 years old.
caution is when you're working with equipment that will hurt you.
Yeah.
Caution is the better thing to do.
That's
And
good.
Dad, yeah, that's right. And Dad, we're glad that you didn't cut anything up.
Yeah.
Maybe
off.
cut Mom up.
had to stay at home.
Maybe cut up on Mom a little bit at home. So she
So glad you stayed home and kept your fingers on.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, well, we know that we love that because Mom has to have Dad all in one piece.
Well, no, I don't have to have him all in one piece, but if he's got to make an excuse for not doing what he said he's going to do, then that's his excuse.
Well,
She don't want him coming back in a bushel basket.
Right.
That's why she didn't want him to go to the service.
Like this.
Yeah. All she was afraid of, she had the wheelchair of my dad around and he came back from Vietnam. But we're glad Dad didn't go, and we're glad that God worked things out, and we're glad that we had I hope everybody enjoyed this laugh tonight. I know I did, and like I said, I always enjoy my family. So, just remember, people, love to hear from your omissions and stuff like that. And your comments, like, subscribe, talk to us. Till next time, laughter's a good medicine, by the way. We'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks.
Yes, right.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.